Welcome back to the next segment in the Websites for Growth series. I'm Tim O'Brien with the Nebraska Department of Economic Development, and I again have the pleasure of introducing Caleb Pollard with the Valley County Economic Development Organization. Our last segment here today, we are going to talk about the fun stuff and the new emerging things that are happening on the internet.
Absolutely.
Social media.
Absolutely.
So we've got a lot to talk about, a lot of neat things to cover. First, I want to start off, Caleb, tell me why you're using social media and really what that's done for your community and how it relates to your website.
Well, I think that's a great question to kick it all off. Why do we use social media? Because it's a huge and impossible to ignore 8 million pound gorilla in the room. I mean, social media is how people are operating today. I mean, most people that are watching this will now know is that when Facebook launched the like button for the internet, that essentially put the Facebook, tag on everything that's on the interwebs. I mean, today you can't ignore social media because it derives how humans are communicating with each other today. I mean, there's no other better way in which you can find what Seth Godin calls your tribe, which is a very specific and identified group of people that are all passionate about the same things that you're passionate about. So it's too big to ignore.
Exactly. I mean, you've got to use all the tools. Facebook's the biggest. We see Twitter, Flickr, some of those others. Can you touch on what you're using and how that works, and maybe your user base? I think that there's several thousand followers that I think you're having pretty easily in your area.
Absolutely. I think that's a really good point. Getting back to, I'm really emphasized, or at least I think not just emphasized, but influenced by Seth Godin's idea around using social media as the new wave in marketing, because it really does help you connect with individuals that are passionate about Ord, Nebraska. And there's a lot of people out there that we come to find out by using Facebook, Flickr, and Twitter to connect up with and talk about our passion, which is our community. And so what we've been able to do is we have about 1,800 to 2,000 fans between Facebook, Flickr, and Twitter on all the things that we're doing that pay attention to us on a day in, day out basis. And that doesn't even begin to bring into account the just the massive amount of traffic that we've been able to generate outside of the social media arena.
Oh, that's great. How do you continue to have a discussion with using those social media tools? Are you posting? You're posting a lot of things, but are you getting a lot of feedback? Are you having conversations? Has that taken a while to build up?
It has taken a little bit of time to really build up, especially and specifically on Facebook. I think a lot of communities would kill to have half their population is on their fan page for Facebook, which is what we have. We're over 1,000 fans now. And what that allows us to do is provide information, relevant and fresh content about what's going on in the community. But it also lets those fans talk about elements and aspects of the community in which they love. So for example, on our Facebook page, Ord, Nebraska, you can go and you can see the love that the people that are following us share about the community. We had a few people from Ord who've moved to New York City, and now they're back on our page telling us how much they love Ord and it will always be their home, et cetera, et cetera. And that's priceless when it comes to being able to sell a community to another individual. Is it doesn't look like it's closed and backward and non-progressive. I mean, because we get to tell an amazing story about an amazing community, and our fans happen to agree, and we happen to have a lot of fans. So it really helps us sell that that image and that message about our community being vibrant and having a future.
No, that's great. We found throughout our research, actually, 80% of people under 30 years of age would move back to Nebraska if they've left for a good opportunity. And so I've seen some of the things that you've been doing of highlighting opportunities to people that had a connection to Nebraska. And so can you touch on what you've done? Have you created Facebook groups or pages, and what does that outreach look like to bring people to a community?
Absolutely. Well, we focus on pages because I think it's the most intuitive way to be able to sell those messages, or at least spread those and share those messages. But we specifically talk about job opportunities. Do we have businesses that are looking for an investor, for a new owner? Are there housing opportunities? Somebody wants to be a lifestyle enthusiast and not necessarily move to our community with a job. What are the ways that they can get connected up and then find that spot in our community? But also, and I think what is equally important, is creating an open dialogue about what is good and what is bad about the community. What are some things that we can fix and we can address, but also to engage them in some really creative, exciting things that are going on in the community. The fun part of it. A lot of people think that small towns are just boring and drab, and being a resident of my community for a short time now has really given me an attitude that that's not the case. Because in small towns, if you want something to do, you just have to create it for yourself, or find a group of people that wants to create it with you. And so we really focus on telling those types of stories and engaging people in a way that they can participate and have influence over it.
No, that's great. Well, I've got a couple questions for you still. How important is using your website and integrating these social media tools? And how did you go about using that process? And what tools would you really recommend for communities to make sure that they use?
Absolutely. I think that's a very important question because to us, the website is that central portal that ties it all together. So we, of course, have the website, and all of our social media is really, they're all like interstate highways to the destination, which is our website. So everything is pointing to the website, whether it's from Flickr, which is photo sharing, and social media around photography and video, or whether it be Facebook, which is that social aspect, or Twitter, which is almost a more business-specific group of folks. All those are being pointed back to our website, and it's very front and center. It's very much the feeds are right there on a front page. You can see the Twitter feed and gives you kind of more business information about what's going on. The blog feed on the front page, that really is derived from everything that's going on in the community in a more in-depth analysis, and it's all pointing inward. So those are the conduits in which we use to get traffic to our website. Fresh content, really breeds fresh eyeballs, and that's what we're looking for.
All right, so it sounds like you're really being diverse.
Absolutely.
So you've got to have fresh content, you've got to use Facebook, you've got to use Twitter, and you've got to use media-rich tools like YouTube, Flickr, and we're going to see some emerging tools coming out that will actually be posted on the Websites for Growth site for communities to continue to follow. I've seen a big trend in marketing change. So for your marketing dollar budget, are you taking advertising? Are you doing other things? Or is it just, it's kind of viral, it sounds like. Can you touch on that?
It is. We don't spend a lot of money outside of the general procurement of good data. And when I say good data, I mean good photos, good video, etc. But the actual tools, once we've invested in this website, is free. I mean, that's the beauty of social media today, is it's all free, and you have a much more scalable and easy way in connecting with your audience in a viral way. And so as long as we can procure good data, wholesome, factual data, people are there to consume it. You have to get it on the right channels and get it out to the masses.
No, that's great. I just have one last question for you, Caleb. Trying to predict the future, what do you think are some of the next trends that we're going to see that communities need to think about in terms of marketing?
One specifically, I think, is how do you integrate with the handhelds, the smartphones, iPads, iPhones, very specific, with applications, whatever. You're going to have to start building on community applications. I mean, it's going to accelerate pretty quickly. But I even think into the realm of text messaging updates. Through our Twitter feeds is one thing that we've talked about. If we can even do it, would be great. We're looking at those options. So I would really say the smartphones and the netbooks are really where the mobile society is going, and we have to adapt to that.
I agree with you. It is all about the mobile culture. People are picking up their jobs, can do them anywhere, and really makes a lot of sense for why we've created this Websites for Growth project. So Caleb, I really want to thank you again for taking the time and walking through 3 of these different segments.
You're welcome, Tim. Thank you.
And for you that are watching, more information can be found on websitesforgrowth.com. Thank you.